Wake up! Semifinals Saturday morning is about to start with a bang as two top 12 teams face off, the Mount Vernon Marauders and the Zionsville Eagles, a clash for a spot in the championship game later tonight in the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. Good morning, everybody. Hope you got a cup of coffee and you're ready to go because we got some high-quality basketball to start off our day. I'm Braxton. I'm joined alongside Atticus, Dean, and two big teams, two heavyweight teams in for a clashing and a beautiful morning affair.
Yeah, this should be a great one to kick off the morning. As you mentioned, two great 4A teams going against each other. Both teams loaded with star power, so it should be a fun one to kick things off.
So how did we get to this spot? Both these teams played in the quarterfinal round last night, and for Zionsville, they started things off against Carroll, a game they got the victory in 48-39.
And in that one, Zionsville just controlled from the get-go as they just kept Carroll at a distance that they couldn't really strike from, and the Chargers also struggled to knock down some shots that they needed to go in to get back in that one. But nonetheless, the Eagles just from start to finish showed that they were the better basketball team, and that's how they got here.
And then meanwhile, Mount Vernon, it was a little bit harder for them. It took till double overtime to take South Bend St. Joe. They trailed by as much as 11 in that game. In fact, they trailed by 8 in the final couple minutes, went on a huge run, and ended up getting that game into overtime and eventually winning it in the second period.
And that was a big-time comeback effort for Mount Vernon, just playing through the adversity against a good basketball team like South Bend St. Joe. It's hard to get those comeback wins, but Mount Vernon did just that, and now they have a chance to go and pave their path to the championship game if they were to win this one.
So Carroll and South Bend St. Joe are about to face off in the other gym. That's a quasi-semifinal, you could say, for the fifth place game later tonight that'll be here in Spartan Arena, and that itself is a consolation game that's about to start. Focusing in on this game, let's talk about Mount Vernon, and you have to talk about their star player, Luke Ertl, who we're going to see tonight, signed to Purdue.
Yeah, Ertl, the Purdue newest recruit. I mean, he's been doing great things for Mount Vernon. He leads the team in about every stat except field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage, and it's just crazy the impact he has for his team. And that's not to say that the other guys on the roster can't do anything, but he just elevates his team to a whole nother level. Whenever you have him on the court, you just feel like you have a great chance of winning, and that's why Matt Painter and the rest of the Purdue Boilermakers team likes him so much.
Yeah, 3 players for Mount Vernon that average double digits, so they certainly have a talented offense. And meanwhile, for Zionsville, Rylan Gore, their star point guard, that's who we're going to be focusing in for them.
Yeah, Gore was big time against Carroll. He's hitting some clutch threes just to keep the Zionsville lead at an amount that Carroll couldn't overcome, as he is able to not only take guys off the dribble, but he can shoot as well. So Gore, even though he doesn't have the most size, he's still very shifty and can still do a lot of great things on the basketball court.
All right, that we're going to step away. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups and tip-off from Homestead High School.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. rethink your limits.
Back here at Spartan Arena, about to get semifinal number 1 underway between the Zionsville Eagles and the Mount Vernon Marauders here in the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. We see starting lineups being introduced. I'll start things off with Zionsville. 5'9" senior guard Owen Hahn, 6'3" junior forward Nick Snively, 6' junior guard Rylan Gore, 6'4" junior forward Preston Johnson, and 6'5" junior guard Camden Moore. So yesterday against Carroll, we saw when these 5 were on the floor, the Chargers really couldn't do anything. It was really only the bench players that Carroll was able to get their offense going.
Yeah, the starting lineup for Zionsville just so solid to do every single thing the right way. They have ball handlers and Hahn and Gore, and then even Camden Moore as well. He had a great game getting downhill, getting to his floater layup action. That was huge. And then you have Snively and Johnson as well, just down low, commanding the glass. So this lineup for the Eagles to start things off is just well-rounded in all facets of the game.
Then meanwhile for Mount Vernon, 6'3" senior guard Luke Ertl, player to watch tonight. 5'8" junior guard Owen Doherty, 6'4" senior forward Jack Gear, 6'1" senior forward Brady Weber, and then the big man down low, junior forward, the 6'8" Max Weiss.
And Weiss is going to be someone to watch. I mean, the clear size advantage over everyone on the court, and if he's able to get on the glass and just be a presence down low as well defensively, that would be huge. And if Mount Vernon can turn defense from Weiss and Ertl and the rest of the team into quick offense, they could get an early lead in this one over Zionsville, make it tough for them to come back and keep this one competitive.
And Weiss right in the center of your screen in the circle here for the Marauders. Meanwhile, Johnson is there for Zionsville. 7th all-time meeting between these two schools. Mount Vernon has won 5 of the first 6, and they'll win the tip here to get this one underway. And it's going to be Luke Ertl with the ball right off the get-go for Mount Vernon. Passing over to his right. Weiss will now have it up top. A fake shot there, but Johnson doesn't bite. Now the pass over to Ertl on the right side. He'll go back out to Weiss. Again, a hesitation. This time he's going to use it to drive, go up with it, and bank it in.
It's a tough shot there for the big man. You see there, just even the shot fake, the ability to shoot the basketball at that high opens up your game so much, as it forces the Eagles to respect your jumper, and it opens up the game in the lane.
Moore with the ball now for the Eagles. He had a big performance yesterday. 16 points for Zionsville, but he's going to lose the handle on it. Ertl takes it away. Throw it ahead to Weiss. He'll have it knocked free, and Zionsville avoids giving up the transition bucket. On the other end, ball fired over from Hahn, and Snively catches it with a foot on the baseline, so that's going to turn it over.
And the turnover battle is going to be so important in this one, is just making sure that the other team doesn't have more possessions to beat you. I mean, that's huge. And in this game, every possession matters, as it's going to be a competitive one from start to finish.
Ertl has it. He's going to drive on the baseline and work it all the way around back outside the arc. Weiss again with it on the left side now. Ertl calls for the ball, not going to go to him. Instead, the pass goes over to Gear. Now Weiss has it at the free throw line. Going off towards his right, turning around, lowering the shoulder, getting up with it, and getting it to fall. He's got all 4 points so far for Mount Vernon.
And again, you see just that size advantage for Weiss just paying dividends for the Marauders.
And then another turnover out of bounds for Zionsville. Second time that's happened for him.
And these early turnovers just turning into buckets for Mount Vernon, and Eagles are going to have to figure it out quickly, or else they could dig themselves a pretty sizable deficit.
Ertl's going to have it, stepping inside on the wing, and now he's going to just go up with it off the pivot foot. That's no good. A loose ball, and Zionsville ends up with it on the defensive board. Camden Moore has it between the circles. He'll hand it off now to Hahn. And he goes off to his right, back to Moore, guarded by Weiss. Going to be a fun matchup to watch between those two in the post this morning. Three-pointer on the way. That's off the mark from Gore, as he struggled a little bit yesterday in the game. Still had a 9-point performance for the Eagles, tied for the second highest on the team, along with Snively, who had 9 as well. Ertl gets it between two defenders, and a whistle. I think it's going to be a foul call here, and it's going to get called on Owen Hahn for his first.
You can see early in this first quarter how much attention that Ertl's getting from the Eagles. I mean, on that curl by him, just instantly met by two Zionsville defenders. So Eagles trying to make it hard for the Purdue commit.
Catch and shoot 3 on the way. That's off the mark from Gear, his first look of this one. First player besides Vice and Ertl to take a shot from Mount Vernon, as Moore will have it and toss it over to Hahn. Now Gore goes to Moore on the left side, turning around, kick out. Hahn steps inside the arc. He's spinning all around, goes up with a little bit of contact, no whistle, bucket won't drop. Ertl in transition over to Vice. A Mount Vernon team that scores 62 points per game, one of the most prolific offenses in the state. They played in the Hall of Fame Classic back on Tuesday, lost the championship game to Crown Point 60-56, but they led the majority of that game, just couldn't close it out in the end. They're probably one of the favorites to win this tournament this weekend, and a big reason is that guy right there, Luke Ertl.
Just a great drive there early to get things going for Ertl, and so far about halfway through this first quarter and still scoreless are the Eagles. Their offense just looks flustered out there.
Moore's going to try a deep 3 to get this offense going, but that is in and out. Maybe not the best shot selection when you're already struggling to get any points nearing the midway mark of this first quarter. Vice, he's going to put his back to the defender, turn around, and it's an easy bucket for him in the paint. And immediately a timeout is called by the Eagles as Coach Howell, trying to figure out what's going on here with his guys, is still scoreless, and they've given up 8 straight.
And just a quick timeout for the Eagles. They don't want to panic necessarily. It's still early on this one, but just timeout to wake the guys up. I mean, it is early in the morning. I'm sure both teams were up pretty early in the morning. Try to wake up a little bit, especially for the Eagles. They need to figure things out quickly, as 8 pretty easy points for the Marauders as they're just getting the ball down low to Vice, and it's been pretty easy for them.
So following the timeout, it'll end up being Zionsville ball, and they've just been struggling to get any looks really to begin this game, as they've taken 3 3-pointers and missed all 3, not really getting any play inside, just 1 2-point attempt so far for Zionsville. So what happens on this possession after Coach Howell burns the first time out? Still the same personnel out on the floor for Zionsville, just one change as Wesley Sim comes into the game. First substitution the Eagles have made in this one, and Mount Vernon stays with their original 5 out on the floor. Ball fired down to Sim, and he is going to be fouled, grabbed that time by Daugherty.
And so far, Moore has struggled for the Eagles, and when you have Vice guarding you, just such a size disadvantage there for Moore. He's not able to drive like he was against the Chargers yesterday.
Gore gets the catch, not going to go with the shoot. Now he will on the pull-up, and finally the Eagles are on the scoreboard.
And now just a deep breath there for the Eagles, finally getting on the scoreboard. And if you get a stop here, you start to feel more and more confident that you can get back in this one.
Zionsville, good defense this year. They give up just 45 points per game as the long 3-pointer off the mark, that time from Daugherty and out of bounds. Looks like it's going to stay on this end with Mount Vernon.
There for the Eagles, you just can't let that one go out of bounds. It was a tough rebound, but still, in a game where the Marauders haven't missed all that much, you have to be able to secure defensive rebounds, but turnover bails them out there.
Snively tosses it over to Johnson. On the cut, Snively lays it in off the glass.
And now the Eagles offense seeming to get their mojo back now. Just a nice cut, nice find for the layup.
Want to give a quick update. Don't forget, we also have coverage of the St. Joseph Carroll game on our YouTube channel. There's some technical difficulties getting that game up, but the broadcast is now up and running. St. Joe leads Carroll 8-4 midway through the first quarter in that one. We'll keep you updated here with the score from that game as well. Meanwhile, here, Moore's going to try the 3-pointer and get it from deep, and all of a sudden, Zionsville just down 1.
Eagles just needed to see 1 to go in, and now their offense is back soaring with life, as now only a 1-point deficit, and their defense is doing wonders as well.
3-pointer answer back is good there from Gear. So right back to a 4-point advantage now for Mount Vernon. Moore has it, tossed over to the right. Gore. And now Johnson with the ball. Moore maybe thought about another long three-pointer. Vice playing a little bit higher up in the post defensively, not letting him get that deep look. Passes to Sim. He had a bobble. No shot look for him. Has it knocked free on the ground. And this is going to end up being a foul as Sim trips up Weber. And so he'll pick up his first foul, and it'll be Mount Vernon ball.
There, Sim had an opportunity to go up with it, just bobbled a pass and then tried to dive for it, but just tripping up the Marauders. So a possession that I'm sure he wishes he could have back.
Erdo will walk it up into the front court now for Mount Vernon. And passed over to Schaefer, his first time into the game. Ball almost goes out of bounds. Eagles are going to get the steal anyways and get back on offense. Their defense certainly has played a lot better since the timeout. Offense has as well. They scored 7 in the last 2.5 minutes. Moore going to hand it over to his left. Kicked out. Sim's going to pop the three for a first time in the night. That doesn't get the bounce, and an easy rebound for Erdo. He leads Mount Vernon in rebounds with over 10 a game, averages a double-double this season, but a jump ball is called here at possession. On the scoreboard, it says it's with Mount Vernon, but it looks like that was just a mistake, so it's Zionsville ball.
And a great job there by Sim, getting the hand on the basketball on the Erdo drive and forcing a tie-up.
It is the right call, as Mount Vernon obviously won the tip to begin the game. Moore throws it over to Sim. He almost came off the pass there as Sim throws it right back to Moore. Less than a minute to go in this first quarter. Moore going to drive far side. That's no good, and a rebound comes for Schaefer. He'll toss it over to Erdo. Between the circles, calling out motion. Thrown over, three-pointer from Schaefer. That's off the rim, and a rebound for Johnson. And Zionsville now with 40 seconds left in this first quarter comes on offense. Snively, he's got 2 points in this period. He's going to spin around, kick it out. Sim not going to shoot it this time. Eagles might look to hold for the final shot, something we have seen a lot this tournament when the clock gets under a minute. These teams have been very willing to hold the ball, and you see that a lot of times with these more competitive matchups. Snively will back it out. 20 on the clock now. Putting the ball on the ground. Hasn't knocked free by Vice, but it gets him his dribble back in the process. And throwing out to Moore. 12 seconds on the clock now. He's going to shoot it from deep with a lot of time on the clock. I don't know if that was a selection Coach Howell wanted. Erdo has it for Mount Vernon now and a chance to tack onto the lead. 2 on the clock. Three-pointer on its way. Erdo can't convert. And the first quarter is going to come to an end. Zionsville trailed by as much as 8. They've halved that deficit. Just down by 4. 11-7. 1 quarter of play in the books in semifinal number 1 of the BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
And ready to begin the second quarter here at Spartan Arena. And as Mount Vernon basketball up by 4. Start of this game on an 8-0 run. Zionsville has come back into this one. Ball passed over to the right. Now Vice, he's going to turn his back to the basket. Can't get it to go off the rim. Johnson, though, gets the rebound for the Eagles. Now Hahn to Moore. Only one player has come off the bench for Zionsville in this game, now 2 with Green on the floor, but it's been mostly the starters, and that's true for Mount Vernon as well. Only a couple substitutions, so seeing these starters get a lot of use here. Again, this is game 2 of what's going to end up being 3 games in 2 days for these teams. And Mount Vernon, they had 2 games on a Tuesday in the Hall of Fame Classic, and obviously the break for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Kicked out 3-pointer on its way. That's off the mark. Rebounded by the Eagles, and Gore will have it. Mount Vernon's shooting has slowed down significantly, and it's down to 45% in this one. And then Moore just throws it away. He was looking in the direction of Green, but just out in front of him, or behind him, rather.
Yeah, Moore struggling a little bit early, whether it be the shot selection not being great, so he just isn't hitting the shots he was hitting against the Chargers, and now just a ball to the stands. Is you got to figure it out if you're more early for your team, as they need you out there and they want to see you thrive in their offense.
Schaefer will pass it over to Weiss. Now with Gear to Ertl. He's guarded by Green. Schaefer now will hold it on the wing. Go up top to Meyer, who's into the game for the first time. 3-pointer off the mark from Ertl. Loose ball. Who touched it last? No signal yet. And it looks like it's going to stay with Mount Vernon. Coach Howell not happy, nor are the Zionsville fans, and now they're going to change the call to Zionsville basketball.
Maybe we just took a little bit of diplomatic conversation there from Zionsville to get the ball in their favor, as it looked like it should have been the Eagles' ball regardless, so right call there by the officials.
Ball in the hands of Hahn, now getting a screen from Johnson. He'll roll off of it and toss it to Moore. Moore dribbling, picks it up, and throws it over to Hahn. This defense is just smothering from Mount Vernon, but Moore finds a hole in it there.
And that's a way to beat an aggressive defense. If they're face guarding like that, just cut in front of them and get an easy layup, especially if you're being guarded by Weiss like Moore is. That's the best way you're going to get points.
Ertl blows past Green and lays it in.
Ertl, man, just has a quick first step. You see it there on display. Hasn't been able to get his jump shot to go yet, but still getting to the rim for his team.
His post play certainly still there in this one. Gore going to take the deep 3-pointer, and that's off the mark. And Zionsville was hoisting up a lot of these deep 3 balls, and they've only hit one of them so far.
Yeah, they're a team that they like to shoot the 3 balls, but I think early in this one you should be trying to scoot in a little bit. The deep 3s, they'll come eventually when you get warmed up.
Just 17% beyond the arc in this game for the Eagles. A little bit better for Mount Vernon as they hit that 3-pointer. Moore will have it on the other side now for Zionsville. Mount Vernon, though, not shooting great behind the arc. Just at 25% in this game. Moore goes up left-handed. That is no good, and Ertl's got it now. So Zionsville offense not doing anything to begin the second quarter. 3-pointer on the way, and that'll take a bounce out of bounds. It'll go back to Zionsville. And this looks a lot like the first quarter. Zionsville scored no points in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. And so far, they've only scored 2 points in the first 3.5 minutes of the second quarter.
Yeah, both teams struggling to score the basketball, especially Zionsville. Is Moore, he's getting to the rim. He's getting down low like he wants to, but just the gravity and pressure of having a 6'8" shot blocker and Weiss behind you just throws off your timing, and that's been pretty clear through about a quarter and a half of play.
Ball in the hands of Gore between the circles now. Thrown over to his right to Moore. In the midway mark of the second quarter, Gore has it on the wing. So he was actually Snively with it, backing up in the post, and it falls off the rim, tipped out to Green. And now he's going to put a jumper up from short range. That's no good. Snively, second chance, third chance for Moore, and he's got another 3-point. And only one hitting those deep balls right now for Zionsville.
That's a tough shot there by Moore. Step back 3 over the outstretched arms of Weiss, and that was a big time 3 for the Eagles as they needed to come up with points on the possession after all those rebounds.
The leading scorer from last night, he's got 8 points already in this one. Schaefer with it now. Guarded by Gore. Zionsville's hanging around, and scrappy defense here is going to lead to a chance for a transition bucket from Hahn, but it's blocked away by Weiss. They are going to get him for a foul, but he just shut down that layup opportunity.
There, Weiss with a big-time block, but I think they actually got the foul on Meyer for the Marauders there. Just a lot of body contact from him.
So that'll end up being his first foul of the game, and Owen Hahn goes to the free throw line where he's 80% this year, and he'll hit the first. Substitutions being made as Weber checks into the game now for Mount Vernon. Looks like Owen Doherty is going to come back in as well.
And it was a broken play there for Mount Vernon. Tried to set up the offense, but Hahn just swiped it away from him, and those free throws just keeps the game in striking distance.
On those, his first 2 points of this one. Ertl bouncing it down low to Weiss. It's been a little bit quieter here in the second quarter. He's got 6 points total on the morning. 3-pointer on the way. That one's strong, and the rebound is made down low by Collins, and he is going to draw a whistle and go to the line pretty good on his first offensive possession of the game.
That's a great effort there by Collins to get the rebound after the Ertl missed 3. And after that play, Ertl just kind of trying to get his form down as he's struggling to knock down these jumpers in this first half.
And the first free throw is good here from Collins. 6'3" senior forward for Mount Vernon. Going back now for his second. And that one rolls off the rim. So 1 of 2 this time. And Zionsville has the ball down by just 1 possession. Closest they've been since the middle or late stages rather of that first quarter and more. He's going to go down to a 1-point game. That's the smallest deficit they have faced.
Just another tough bucket there by Moore. He's not shying away from the tough matchup in Weiss.
10 first half points for Camden Moore. More than half of the total for Zionsville. Ball fired over, 3-pointer on the way from Doherty. That rolls off the rim. Rebound from Collins and the putback, though. He is cleaning up right now.
And once again, another offensive rebound there by Collins. Just doing the little things for his team to get them these easy points to keep the Eagles away.
Moore for the tie. That one airball, maybe losing his touch as no luck there.
And Moore's getting up a lot of shots. He's hitting them, but I think at some point you got to work the ball around a little bit, as just a few passes into a shot isn't the best way to get a good look for your team. And there's no rush. It's still 2 minutes, and they're only down by 3, so they just slow things down a little bit. They can have some string together a couple good possessions and cut the lead.
And I think our streak is about to continue for the 4th game in a row. We have a player getting sent over to the sideline for a little bit of blood. I actually think it's both Collins and Gear who they're sending over to the sideline right now, or rather Collins and Weber over there. And so they're going to get this cleaned up. As you see, trainer coming out for Weber. I mean, we're just bad luck or something. 4th game in a row that we've called it. And players having to get cleaned up on the sideline.
And at this point, I don't know if it's a coincidence. I think we just bring on the bad luck for players of getting cut.
Maybe it's a good thing, though. It means physical basketball is going on down low, so we'll get them attended to. We'll give you a score update from the other gym as St. Joseph in a battle with Carroll, leading 19-17. That one has 5:25 remaining in the first half. That game, a consolation game. Winner will play in the 5th place game tonight here in Spartan Arena with tip-off at 4. The loser will face off in the 7th place game over in the Victory Gym. Winner of this game in front of us goes to the championship game at 5:30 tonight. Again here in Spartan Arena. The loser will play in the 3rd place game at 5:30 over in the Victory Gym. And The other semifinal will be Homestead and Hamilton Southeastern. That'll start right around 11:30, 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. I think we're about to get this game back underway. Zach Green onto the floor for Zionsville. He also has a bandage on his right arm, so maybe where some of that blood was coming from, but we are ready to go. It'll be Mount Vernon basketball up by 3. Think of that as a 2-minute warning as we got 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Ertl will bring it up the floor now for Mount Vernon, calling out the offensive motion. And Collins is going to start to set a screen and I'll roll down low, but not going to go there. Ertl's going to take it himself against Green. That's no good. Put back nowhere near going for Weber. Loose on the ground, though. He gets it back. Going to be a third chance opportunity, and that converts the points.
And a tough basket there by Weber, and another offensive rebound turns into a layup for Mount Vernon, as even though they're struggling to knock down their shots, they're just fighting on that offensive glass.
Hahn throws it out to Green. 80 seconds remain in this first half. Gore with the dribble. Moving around, trying to create space. We'll turn it around to Snively. Now in the hands of Green. Gore, Euro, thrown over. Green three-pointer on the way. That's off the mark, and Ertl is going to get the rebound. Less than a minute to go now here in the first half. Ertl dribbling on the far side. And looks like Mount Vernon might do what we saw Zionsville do in the first quarter and run down a lot of this clock. Of course, the Eagles ended up shooting it with about 10 seconds left. Ertl is going to back it up and just dribble it right now on the volleyball line. Still holding at 25 on the clock. Now Ertl passes it over to Weiss, the midcourt logo, hand it right back to him. 18 ticks left. Ertl. Watch out for Collins in this situation. They might try to get him on a backdoor cut. 8 on the clock. Ertl, and that's going to be a foul from Green, and that looked pretty much on purpose, as still 2 more fouls to give for Zionsville if they want to make sure this clock runs down a little bit. And a substitution is going to be made. Okatunde will come in for the first time this morning for Zionsville. Inbound here to Ertl, and they try to get a foul. No whistle. Thrown down low to an open Weber. He'll bank it in off the glass, and this first half is going to come to an end. Mount Vernon leading it by 7.
They're just trying to get the intentional foul, but no whistle is blown. It leads to a broken coverage and an easy layup for Weber. And the story of those last couple minutes in that second quarter was just the easy layups, whether it be on backdoors or offensive rebounds for Mount Vernon. Even though they haven't been able to shoot the ball extremely well, still find themselves up by 7.
So 7-point advantage, 23-16. The Marauders 16 minutes away from moving on to the championship game later tonight. We'll take a break and be back with the OPS halftime report.
Marco's Pizza, located at 1.
Rethink your limits.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Halftime here at Spartan Arena in semifinal number 1 of the 2025 BSN Sports Homestead Holiday Tournament. Mount Vernon leading Zionsville 23-16. And here's how the bracket looks right now. Carroll and South Bend St. Joe are facing off over in the Victory Gym. We're having some technical difficulties with that broadcast, so some of you might be tuning in to see that game and you're stuck watching us for the time being. We're trying to get that fixed, Troy. Hopefully get that back up and running, and that game still pretty tight late in the first half of that one. Here, Mount Vernon again, the 23-17 lead. Homestead and Hamilton Southeastern will be our next semifinal, and Center Grove and Penn will be the consolation game going on at the same time over in the Victory Gym. And real quick, let's talk about that Homestead and Hamilton Southeastern game we're about to see. These teams have faced off multiple times in this tournament in the past, and should be another good matchup this year.
Yeah, both teams feeling very confident. I mean, Braxton, we got to watch that HSC Penn game, and it came down to the wire, but HSC just dominated in that fourth quarter, going on a big-time run. just breaking the zone that Penn threw at them. And then Homestead, they got the win. It was still a little bit of drama at the end due to the free throw game once again, but nonetheless, Homestead still coming out on top over Center Grove. So both teams coming off of a close game victory, so both teams should be feeling confident, and that should be a fun one following this one.
Should be a good game. We've got a good one in front of us here as we take a look at some of the stats now from the first half of this game. And field goal shooting, a big storyline, 45% for Mount Vernon, just 33% for Zionsville, and that number was even lower at some points in the first half.
Yeah, both teams struggling to knock down shots, and it's just one of those games where when neither team can hit a jumper, you just got to find ways to get to the basket like Mount Vernon did, whether it be on the offensive glass. You had Collins, you had Weber, you had other guys getting on that offensive glass, or it be on backdoor cuts. You just got to find a way to get easy layups if you can't find your jumper.
A crazy stat, only 6 attempted field goals, or only 6 field goals made rather, for Zionsville in the first half of this game. 3-point shooting has been rough for both teams, 20% for Mount Vernon, 22% for the Eagles. Some individual stats from that first half. Camden Moore was the leading scorer for Zionsville with 10 points. Meanwhile, Gear had 6, as did Vice for Mount Vernon. The Vice did not score in the second quarter, and then 4 points for Ertl and for Weber as well. So as we look forward towards the second half, Mount Vernon up by 7. How do they get out of here and get to the championship game tonight?
Well, continue their defensive intensity. That's a big thing. Is if you just make one guy score for Zionsville, you feel like you have a great chance of winning. Well, Moore has double digits. He's struggled to shoot the ball really well, and he's still getting to his spots, but his supporting cast has struggled. Rylan Gore only held to 2 points in that one, and he's actually the team's leading scorer. So if you're Zionsville, you want to get him going, but Mount Vernon just continue to play their aggressive defense and continue to get downhill and down low. Ertl is struggling to hit jumpers, but he's getting to the basket, getting some easy layups, and Vice has also just been shooting over guys down low. So just continue their defensive intensity and get to the basket.
You're about to get this second half underway in 30 seconds time. It'll be Zionsville basketball to begin this third quarter. What do they need to do in the opening possession to try to set the tone?
Need to get a nice possession going. It feels like a lot of times in that first half it would just be 1 to 2 passes and then chuck up a 3. In this case, they have plenty of time. They're only down 7. Just work the ball around, get some cuts, get some screens, just get some nice motion going. Force Mount Vernon's defense to react to what you're throwing at them rather than just stand around the wing and then force up a 3 and bail out Mount Vernon. Just work the ball around and get downhill as well. It's going to be a key for both teams to attack the basket. If you can't find your jumper, find ways to score nonetheless, and just get downhill and attack the core of the Mount Vernon defense.
Once again, if you're watching on the Carroll versus South Bend St. Joe stream, we're having some technical difficulties right now. We're trying to get that back up and running for you over in the Victory Gym. For the moment, little bonus coverage here in Mount Vernon versus Zionsville. As tight game to begin of the second half, single-digit ball game. Snively trying to cut 2 points in the deficit. Can't right there, and the rebound goes to Vice for Mount Vernon. Ball thrown up ahead, 3-pointer on the way, and that one rattles in, and the Marauders picking up where they left off as that time Gear hits the 3.
That's Gear's third 3-pointer in this one. The only guy to make a 3-point shot for Mount Vernon. That continues here in the second half.
Johnson will toss it over to Moore. He's going to drive, go out to Hahn. A little bit of a head fake as this is the largest lead Mount Vernon has had in this game. They win their games by an average of 11 points this season. Ball thrown back to Johnson and now tossed over to Gore with 7:05 remaining now in this third quarter. Eagles offense has to get going quickly, facing this double-digit deficit. Moore trying to tack on 3, and he's been pretty good from beyond the arc tonight. That's his third made 3-pointer.
Just when you think Mount Vernon's going to start to pull away, Eagles just hit a 3 to keep themselves within that striking distance, and Moore, once again, another tough shot.
He's got 13 of the 19 points for Zionsville in this game so far. Ertl will have it now for Mount Vernon. Thrown over. Gear's going to take the 3-pointer. That catches the front of the rim. No good. And Moore gets the defensive rebound. He'll take it up across the timeline. Picked up defensively by Gear. Now Johnson between the circles. Over to Moore. Step back three on its way. He's got two to open this third quarter.
And Moore becoming a one-man army to keep the Eagles in this one. Now just a 4-point deficit for Zionsville.
Looks like Mount Vernon might start to pull away to begin this third quarter, but not so fast. Zionsville very much in this game. 26-22. Ertl, he's going to drive. He had a quiet first half. He'll dish it. Unselfish basketball. He leads his team in assists. Gets the miss from his teammate Weber. Throws it over to him, and he'll get the 2 points in the end. And a timeout going to be called now by Mount Vernon for the first time in this game. Just a 30-second timeout called here by the Marauders. So Zionsville, obviously it's just been Camden Moore so far. I don't know if the ball movement has been as good as they like, but at least on the scoreboard, the offense looking better.
Yeah, Moore's starting to knock down some shots consistently, and honestly, that's a great thing for the Eagles. Is not only is he hitting shots, but then Mount Vernon's defense more than likely is going to start throwing more bodies at Moore at some point. And when you get swinging the ball around, you're going to have some guy open as the rotation for Mount Vernon will most likely be off by one or two, as it's hard to perfectly rotate when you're sending two guys at one player. So if you can find Gore or even Hahn open for three and get a quality look, that would be huge for Zionsville. But right now, just continue to feed the hot hand of Camden Moore until you're forced otherwise.
So Camden Moore will bring it up on the near side now for Zionsville. 6-point ball game. Largest deficit in this game has been 10 for the Eagles. Gore just in front of the volleyball line. He has really been held in check in this game and really in this tournament as a whole. He's only got 11 points between the two games. He scores 13 a game on average, and ball on the ground. This is going to be a tie-up in the air to Mount Vernon. Forces the takeaway.
Just a bad pass there from Gore to Snively. So a costly turnover there by the Eagles, as a bucket there once again would have cut the deficit even more and just kept their momentum soaring. But now Mount Vernon has a chance to get a good possession here and extend their lead.
Ertl with the ball, will throw it out. Three-pointer on the way, and that one is drained by Doherty. All of a sudden, the Mount Vernon lead right back up 10-9. These teams going on runs of three-pointers back and forth in this third quarter. Hahn throws it out. Gore head fake, thrown over to Johnson. Now he'll get the ball back as Johnson sets the screen for him. Gore step back, long two-pointer. That rolls off the rim. And Johnson, the long offensive rebound, keeps the possession alive. Moore off the screen, drives, tosses it back. Johnson's open. He's not going to shoot it, though. Steps up and throws it back out. There'll be a reset here from the Zionsville offense. Gore is going to drive, turn around. Johnson, Gore, and now he'll take the shot. Three-pointer over Vice, and that is strong in that possession. Tells you what you need to know about Mount Vernon's defense. Even when they're out of position, a lot of times they're able to get back. And Zionsville, you got to play like Johnson. He was wide open, but not comfortable taking the three-pointer. That allows Mount Vernon to send more guys to the paint.
Yeah, and there's a great defensive scramble there by Mount Vernon, even though they're getting over the screen and just being there and at some point switching as well. Just still a great effort there to make the shot tough for Gore. Gore is just running around the screen like a cartoon character, and it's hard to shoot when you're doing all that movement. You get extra fatigue on you, and it just makes it harder to hit the shot for Gore, a guy that knows he can make that shot, but it's again just a tough look for the Eagles.
Ertl goes 2 of 2 at the line there. He leads the team 85% on the year. He's got 6 points now on the morning. Moore on the wing. For somewhere to go. Jab step towards his left and turn it around to Hahn. Clips in the midway mark of this third quarter. Green. Vice all over him. We'll toss it over to Hahn. Fired over to Gore. Deep three-pointer hoisted up. That one strong again. Gore is really struggling from deep in this game. He cannot find anything. Ertl is fouled. He's going to the line for the second possession in a row.
And a great spin move there by Ertl to capitalize on another missed three by Gore. And Ertl, an easy way to get yourself on the scoreboard and get into a rhythm is get to the charity stripe, and Ertl doing just that on back-to-back possessions.
And the first free throw is good from Ertl, so now he's hit 3 of 3 on the game, trying to make it 4 and 4. As Mount Vernon has their largest lead of the game. Currently 12, now make it 13 as Ertl has 8. Camden Moore with it again offensively. Zionsville scored 6 points early on to begin this third quarter, have not scored since. It's just those 6 from Camden Moore they have in this period. We're getting an off-ball whistle down low, and this one looks like it's going to go against Weber as he was colliding with Snively in the paint. So it'll be a set-out inbound now for the Eagles. Actually, it'll be on the baseline for the Eagles.
And if you're Zionsville, you want to move the ball around, but a trend, whenever Camden Moore isn't the one primarily handling the ball and the one actually shooting it, your team doesn't score. So just a tough situation to be in if you're Zionsville when only one guy is knocking down shots like they need to.
Gore tosses it over to Hahn.